Where's the authenticity? If you're just gonna cut out all of your mistakes, then it's not really the true experience.
Right.
I don't think he cares.
I mean, I don't either, but like...
Greetings, citizens, and welcome to OurCraft. I'm your host, Comrade, with Dream Thief.
Oh, hello.
And Jumper.
Greetings and salutations.
We're back here, hopefully to get some more work done on whatever projects we decide to do. And chat.
I do like how this is almost, I think you pointed out in between sessions that it's kind of like a podcast.
Yeah, we're not like the best builders or redstone people.
Oh yeah, if you're watching for a massive new redstone thing, you're like, go on YouTube and search for what you want, because we're not going to be able to present it.
I mean, I like redstone builds probably more than either of you guys, but I don't understand them well enough to come up with them on my own.
I'm starting to get a better understanding and appreciation and liking for them as I've started watching videos of them on YouTube instead of doing absolutely everything the hard way every time, which is generally my preferred way of my preferred modus operandum. I believe that's the term.
Operandi.
I was close. I'm in southern West Virginia, so I can say it however I want and it'll be right.
Way to dox yourself there.
Well, I mean, if you're...
It's a big set of land, although it's not heavily populated.
I live out in the boonies, so nobody knows what Latin even means here.
Oh, people here are way more educated than I am. I have an Associate of Arts degree and a trade school degree.
I don't have either of those things yet.
I mean, one of the elders at church is a retired vet, so he's definitely smarter than me.
Veteran or veterinarian?
Veteran.
Okay. I mean, you'd be surprised how difficult it is to get into veterinarian school.
Oh, I believe it.
Well, basically...
Oh, I'm being shot!
If I understood it right, there's like too many of them.
I mean, there is now. There for a while, it was like a market that hadn't really been touched yet. And then when people were like, hey, you know, you can get a lot of money being an animal doctor, everyone went, for real? And then they became veterinarians.
Yeah, but that's why we require an accreditation system now, which is currently called the... I can't remember what it stands for, but it's called the AHA accreditation. AHAA, something like that.
Is this just kind of... Okay. I'm gonna go exploring, see if I can't find a desert temple or a village or something useful.
Useful? Why would we want to be useful?
I don't know, but like, just say that we wanted to accomplish something.
Why would we want to lie?
Okay, let me phrase it this way. I'm going to go be useful.
Alright.
You
so
all can stay here.
You're going to be our little Thomas the Tank Engine?
You're not allowed to come with me anymore.
I didn't know I was being invited.
You're not.
Was I?
No.
I'm trying to figure out what Thomas the Tank Engine has anything to do with what we were talking about.
I think he was trying to reference the little engine that could, but failed miserably.
No.
Then I have no idea.
Thomas the Tank Engine. Very useful engine.
Was that like his shtick or something?
That plus being on time and really reliable, but that was kind of something all of them wanted. I grew up watching it before it became the animated crap that it is today. And that's not a thing against animation. It's a thing against what the show's become and the poor quality of the animators. I used to watch it when they had to do real work to make that thing look good. They had a genuine model railroad. It was HO in America. It would have been called double O where it was manufactured. So they're smaller engines. They're not big. And they filmed on a model railroad layout every single episode. They had to do some real work to make that look good and acceptable and good.
About to break out the deep lore on us here.
Now it's just this animated thing that doesn't look super great to me.
I'm gonna break out the deep lore on us all here. Did you know that canonically, everywhere else other than the island of Sodor is a dystopian, destroyed civilization?
Oh yeah, and
it's a communist takeover.
And the diesels rule everywhere. And they're evil, and they hunt down any steam engines that are still around and melt them down for scrap. It's great children's show. Just, everyone else is evil. They look for little steam engines to melt them down. Like, your heroes watching the show are little steam engines. You're not, at that age, you're not like, oh, they're awesome heroes for escaping. You're like, that's so terrifying. Why would they attack my little friends?
I mean, there was the episode wherein a steam train didn't want to go do its job, so they just bricked it up in a wall and turned it into a furnace.
Not forever. And no, they didn't turn it into a furnace. They left him there to rot. That was one of the episodes as a child. That was one of the episodes as a child that I didn't really understand what was happening. And now that I do, I'm kind of like, man, I don't think the writing room thought this one all the way through.
I don't think, I don't know, man. It just seems kind of murdery to me.
And it wasn't just that he didn't want to work. He was fine with working. He didn't want to get wet because the rain might ruin his paint job. So he went into the tunnel and he stopped up his own steam valves so that they couldn't get him to move. And he locked himself down and locked up his pistons so that when they brought in other trains, they couldn't move him.
Well,
so they left him there, and his paint got covered in soot and dirt and filth over time. And then he was finally needed for something in an emergency and was like, I'd love to not be in here anymore.
I'd love to not be trapped in the pit of eternal torture that you've stuck me in.
Though it makes an excellent point that I didn't really think about. It's a terrible way of making the point, but it makes an excellent point about all things have their time to end. Obviously the engine didn't end, so that wasn't the driving point the writers were trying to make. But I had over Christmas, I had one of my older, more reliable O-gauge locomotives bite the dust. It's had a list of growing problems, but it finally is now so damaged and messed up that it's just, there's no spending money on it. You'd spend twice what a new engine had cost.
I know.
So I had to kind of bring myself to the terms that I was going to have to throw away an engine, which I've never done before. And I think there is a sub-lesson in there for those who want to dig deeper, that's like, sometimes an engine gets too old and you do actually have to scrap it, even though you don't want to.
I don't think that that's the message the writers were going for.
No, but it's a message I've pulled out of it just this moment.
Oh, was it? Okay.
That was an on-the-moment lesson.
Gotcha.
I was not insinuating that the writers were that intelligent when they published that particular episode for a children's show.
I mean, intelligent writing in a kids show is something that
A lot of the sorry.
You don't really see it. Like, Avatar is one of the only ones that people can really point to.
And I think
Samurai Jack, you can make a decent point for Samurai Jack. And Caleb, Comrade, did you just say My Little Pony?
I did.
he did.
Of course you did.
From the bowels of hell he spoke.
Okay, but like, and I can't believe I'm about to say this. I had to watch an episode when I was watching the littlest one in our house. She's 2, and she loves watching, as she calls it, the ponies. And I gotta say, I was not expecting the purple one, whatever her face is.
Trixie
Twilight
Starbright.
Sparkle.
I'm gonna call her Trixie Starbright now forever,
Trixie's
though.
a different character.
Trixie Starbright's not from My Little Pony.
I don't.
Anyway.
No, but there is a character called Trixie.
Okay, but
Anyway.
I'm thinking of Puffin Forest at this point, so.
Anyway.
I think that might have been a My Little Pony reference to begin
Curse
Anyway.
you, Puffin!
Anyway, I was not expecting her to have an emotional breakdown in tears in the episode, but that is what happened.
That's what she deserves.
It was kind of ruined by another evil horse breaking into song right afterwards.
Wait, which episode was this?
I don't
Sorry.
freaking know.
All horses are
Well,
evil.
like, what was the plot?
There are no good horses
You
on
tell
any
us.
planet, on any fantasy realm ever. They're all evil. Kill them all.
I mean,
What was the plot?
the horse in Breath of the Wild is nice.
I'm sorry. I once had as a job to have to contend with horses that were tearing down fences that I was told to patch, not replace as much as possible. And the horses and I, we went to war because they wanted those fences gone, and they were being held up by prayer more than wood and nails. And I still have very sour memories of that war because I was not winning, not in the least.
They know what the horses know what they did to me. Anyway, comrade, the plot of that episode?
Yeah, was it the anti-communism one?
Aren't they all anti-communism?
I don't.
It is the
freaking-
best episode of the show.
I
So,
don't think it was an anti-communist episode. Okay, listen. Let me regale you with everything that I can remember.
Gotcha. I'll probably be able to tell you what the episode is.
Okay,
Maybe you
so
should stop before he tells us.
purple one, Twilight Sparkle. You said?
Yeah.
The purple one and all of her friends are. They're doing something, and there's an airship question mark that they're supposed to get into, or whatever, wherein there is a red horse with a unicorn thing with a broken horn, and she's evil because she is, and the plan gets borked somehow. and it doesn't work.
Oh,
It's 'cause
that's the
friendship
movie.
doesn't
That's
work.
the movie. This is the movie.
You know why the
Okay.
plan didn't work? Because friendship's a lie.
Okay, so that's the movie. That's not even it's not even the proper show.
Oh,
What do you mean not the proper show?
Well, like
it's not the show.
it's
Is
not
it
the
not?
show.
Is it not canon?
No, it's canon.
Because as much as I don't want to be invested in any of this, it matters at this point if it's canon or not.
I believe it is canon. Yes, but
Because some shows will be like, "Oh, we're going to make a movie," and then the fans are like,
so
"That
it's
is not canon."
it is canon as far as I know, but they never bring up, outside of mentioning them, any of the characters that show up in the movie that weren't part of the show.
Yep,
None
piece
of
of
the
garbage.
characters return if they weren't already a staple in the show.
Oh, I thought I was gonna die. I don't have any food. Crap. I'm still. Why am I out here mining dirt at night with no food?
But yeah,
It took me a minute to figure out what you were talking about, because you brought up somebody with a broken horn, and I was like, well, that could be this villain or that villain. But then you said she, and I was like, oh, yeah, no, that's the movie.
well, like
Now,
I mean,
was she creepy enough though?
she wasn't creepy at all. Well, her whole shtick was that like she had magic powers or whatever, like Twilight does, and she can lift things with her mind horn ability thing. And then her friends were like, "Hey, go into this scary cave and get the ball that we lost." And she's like, "Okay." And she goes in there, and there's a giant friggin' bear spirit thing, and it whacks her and breaks the horn.
Yeah, wasn't
And
it?
then
The Ursa Majors are a cool yet underexplored monster in the lore of the show. They're like constellation bears.
and it whacks her and breaks the horn, and that apparently ostracizes her from all of society instantaneously, I guess. And now she's like, friends don't mean anything. I'm going to be evil.
I mean, in this character's defense,
No.
if you suddenly had your nose broken off and it was your friend's fault and they rejected you from society, I'm pretty sure evil would also be your next move.
I mean, against those people, yes. Not against all of everything.
I'm not gonna say she's the best written out of all the villains.
She's not written. She's not written at all.
Played well, it sounds like, though.
She has a song, like, immediately after this, wherein she explains her whole backstory, and I stopped caring the second she started singing.
Well, you just don't like a good musical, then.
No, because, like, I like musicals. My favorite musical of all time is The Guy Who Didn't Like Musicals.
The best songs from the series
Don't look that up.
come from season 2 finale. The season 2 finale have the best songs.
I keep forgetting
very-
we're not on the casual map, and I
they're
keep
very-
running out of supplies.
They're very Disney-esque.
Hmm.
In that particular episode.
Uh.
A lot of clever wordplay in it.
Okay.
But yeah, that's the only thing I can remember, and I remember being struck by two things.
Now the movie was not its strongest play.
I remember being struck by two things about that, though.
Okay.
One, that's a pretty convincing emotional breakdown you're having right here on screen.
I mean,
And 2, that tone is immediately ruined by the song.
Tara Strong is a good voice actress.
It was like, hey, check out a character in just complete suffering. And I'm like, what?
I'm here for
And then
it.
they go, and then the freaking Oompa Loompa villain shows up and starts singing about it.
The Oompa Loompa villain.
Well, that's what the Oompa Loompas do in Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, isn't it?
I mean,
You're not
know,
wrong.
Some kid nearly dies, and the Oompa Loompas go, how tragic! Let's sing. Let's sing about how terrible this kid was.
for those viewing on YouTube, if you haven't figured out what I'm doing yet, I am building an underground garden.
And if you haven't figured that out yet,
What are you doing with your life?
we assumed that you weren't going to, and that's why we explained.
Yes.
There's not a we. I believe in our viewers.
Do you, though? If they sat through that whole My Little Pony conversation, I don't think that there's much belief left in our viewers. Our beloved citizens.
Somebody reports us just because it was such a terrible conversation.
You will sit down and you will discuss the merits of the My Little Pony movie, and you will enjoy yourself because happiness is mandatory. What was I gonna bring up?
But
Oh,
the
yeah,
best episode of the show is definitely the anti-communism one, which is season 5, episodes 1 and 2.
It's scary that you know that.
He said it's, in his opinion, the best
It
episode
is
on the
best
show.
episode of the show.
If you have a favorite episode of a show, generally you would also remember it, yes?
I mean, yes, but I don't generally remember season what, episode what. Like, but that's not entirely true, but mine kind of cheats. My favorite episode of Clanad is the final episode of season 2. And my favorite episode of Violet Evergarden is season 1, but that's kind of cheating because there's only one season. Episode 10. And anyone who's seen episode 10 agrees with me.
Well, boys, I found me a cavern.
And if you don't agree with me,
Did you
the
fall
unsubscribe
down
button
into said
is right
cavern?
there.
Well, it looked like I had it under control, but our few... Anyone going back and watching the stream will now be aware that there was zero control of the situation. And what control I had, I threw away.
I had everything under control right up until things started happening.
I have some iron, though, so that's something.
I have a not insubstantial amount of coal.
What, were you naughty at Christmas?
I mean, yes, but no one needs to know about that.
Why is there sandstone this far underground?
Anyway, what was...
I'm at level
Comrade, were you going to talk about the
48.
anti-communist episode, or can I do my spiel about musicals?
Go ahead, do your spiel
Musicals
about
are beautiful.
Okay, so... musicals are very hit or miss for me. Either it's amazing and I love every second of it, or it's really dumb and I hate them. Like, I didn't like Hamilton. Now, I know that's an unpopular opinion.
I haven't even seen Hamilton.
I haven't bothered.
I haven't seen the entire thing, but all of the parts that I have managed to force myself to sit through, I very much was very bored the entire time. Because I'm like, yes, it's Hamilton doing Hamilton things. I know what Hamilton did. And I just kept sitting there going, can we speed this along? Can someone call Aaron Burr, please? Anyone, please? That's a history joke. Nobody...
It's one that I should get, and I've lost.
Aaron Burr was the guy that shot
only
Hamilton.
From the
Oh, the one.
It's only from the most famous Got Milk commercial.
Yeah.
Directed
Our
by
teacher.
one Michael Bay.
When was
Our-
the last time Cottonelle had enough money in his pockets to make a commercial?
Cottonelle? No, Got Milk.
Oh!
You heard very wrong.
I was like, Cottonelle is a so-so toilet paper. I don't know that they have money for a 30 to 45 second TV ad.
No, the Got Milk campaign from way back.
I remember the cows. I don't remember
There
Hamilton.
was the best one by far was this guy eating a giant peanut butter sandwich, and it's just this huge glob of peanut butter on the sandwich. He's really enjoying that sandwich, and he sat in just his office. And I'm assuming he's a history professor because he's got history memorabilia and stuff all over it.
Well, but it's exclusively Hamilton memorabilia.
It's exclusively old Americana. Or old American history. And he's listening to the radio, and there's this contest going on to win some big cash prize or whatever. And you have to answer this trivia question. You know, who is the guy that shot Alexander Hamilton? And he looks over and he sees the big painting he has on his wall of the duel between Hamilton and Aaron Burr. And it's got both of their names on it. And he calls real quick, and he's like, Aaron Burr! Because he's got, peanut butter in his mouth and he can't talk. The guy's like, I can't quite hear you. He goes, it's Aaron Burr. He goes, we're going to have to take another caller because you're not coming through properly. And then he cries.
Just a little history professor when he's smiling. I'm not actually mocking him. I'm just participating in the age-old classic of mocking people. Or age-old sport, whatever.
But yeah, that was a good Got Milk ad. I liked that one. But
I have found an underground
the thing
ravine.
that got me was that our history teacher in my American history class, before he even started talking about Hamilton, he showed us that video.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, today we're going to learn about Hamilton. I'm just like, oh gosh. This is the same guy, by the way, that I showed you did the whole Ash Wednesday joke with Ash Ketchum from Pokemon with Ash on his forehead. Same dude.
Yes.
Same chaotic energy in every class. His catchphrase might as well have been, now where was I?
We are officially at level 27 or level 17. I just need to finish getting some supplies.
He would say something which would remind him of something else, and then he would go off on a tangent for 20 minutes. Generally something that didn't even involve American history.
Those are the best kind. It's when you get to find out how cool or not cool your teacher is.
I mean, I wouldn't call this guy cool. Entertaining, maybe, but not cool.
History is cool.
It depends on how you teach it.
I don't know that I've ever heard a dry history lecture, and it might be because I'm obsessed with history. That might be part of it.
I have heard very dry history lessons. It's the worst when you can tell the teacher doesn't care.
No, I've not had one of those.
That was a big problem for me when the teacher just very blatantly does not give a rip. And they're just like, yeah, we're going to learn about this, and these are the dates, and this is the chapters you're supposed to read, and here's the basic synopsis of what happens. Now get out of my classroom.
That's no fun.
I'm like, wow, they're paying you to do this?
I had a history teacher once who was in college. He was talking about, I forget what the name of the city was, but there was a city in Poland during the kickoff of World War II's hot war. And the Germans decided to just march in their. If you've ever seen a video of them with they're marching by, they've got like 1.5 foot high boots, and they're clacking across the ground with their arms outstretched as the Nazi salute. And it can be quite intimidating. Even watching a video of it is quite impressive and a little intimidating. And they decided that they could just take the city by marching into it instead of shooting at it, and they marched in, and the city surrendered because they thought, okay, I guess Poland is fallen, because they came in a parade march, not in tanks.
I mean, if they're confident enough to just walk on.
And Poland was still fighting. Bless its little heart, it was still kicking, but that city surrendered.
If you invade Poland, we will go to war. And then Poland was like, please go to war faster.
So this mad lad of a history teacher, he doesn't put his arm up because he doesn't want to get, fired, even though any genuine history person wouldn't care. There were a lot of people that wanted free grades in that class. So anyway, he free grades, free good grades. So he obviously wasn't going to do the whole thing, but he starts imitating the boots and making the sound he's like trying to make the sound of the boots hitting the ground. I'm like, this is a man who cares, and he is enjoying this thing, maybe even a little too much.
But like just the passion that people can have for the things that they're teaching when they want to, it's infectious. Like, I listened to a guy talk about flipping I can't remember what it was, but like, I got all the way to the end of the video and I was like, wow, that was really interesting. And then I thought about it for a second and went, wait, I don't care. And it was just, you tricked me. You tricked me into caring about this. Just because your enthusiasm spilled over on me. Stop doing that. Oh, I remember what it was now. It was a video on like how to dial in an espresso machine.
Do you have an espresso machine in the house you're living in?
I do now, but I didn't when I watched this video.
Like, if neither you or your parents have at least if your parents have an espresso machine and they've just said don't touch it, and they happen to not be at the home at that moment, and you don't want to break it so that they know you touched it, maybe then the video is helpful. But if there's not one in the house,
neither of my parents know how to operate an espresso machine.
So you're the one making them now?
I have not used my espresso machine. I got this machine for $5 at Goodwill.
I was about to say, where'd you get one for $5? Because I want to go.
Goodwill. They had like 6 of them.
Were they I found a zombie spawner.
And before you ask, I looked I looked up its model number. It's the DeLonghi 15 bar espresso maker.
Okay,
And-
so it's not the ones that
It's not.
Starbucks recently replaced with a version 2 then.
No, it's not Starbucks. It's DeLonghi, which is actually a really good brand. If I had bought this thing new, it would cost me like $200.
Nice.
And it's in really good condition too. As far as I can tell, it has all of its parts and works fine. I did have to order a new the site called it a sump, but I've heard everyone always refer to it as the portafilter. It's the little basket, or the little arm thing that the basket sits in.
Yeah.
It had everything except for that. I got that off of... I asked for that for Christmas, the little sump, and it was only like $20 on Amazon. So in total... this espresso machine cost me like $25.
Nice. All your friends come over, man, he's a really rich kid right there. Like, nope, just lucky.
I mean, I also have a, they also got me a...
You think Jum Jum has friends?
Ouch. What are you?
That hurt.
I could feel the sting of that slap going right through the air. That was rough.
It's like, what the heck are you then?
Okay, uh-oh. I remember this ravine, but I don't remember where I crossed it. Uh-oh.
But, okay.
Oh! Whoa! Yes! Get wrecked!
Saved yourself.
No, there's an underground mine. I now have the location of a zombie spawner if we need that. And I have just uncovered the edge of an underground mine shaft sticking out into the underground ravine.
Nice. You would take down those cords, please.
Oh, yeah. Especially since I'm not sure how I'm going to get down without dying.
But yeah, they got me a bag of freshly roasted coffee beans and a coffee grinder.
Oh, very nice.
And I got a French press for $3, also at Goodwill.
Yeah, I still have to get my grounds ground up by someone else. But I do agree that having a bag of freshly ground grounds is a good thing.
It's not even freshly ground grounds. It's freshly roasted beans.
All right.
Grinder myself, and it's... Oh my goodness.
Well, and that means you don't have to have a whole bag ground at once.
Mm-hmm.
You can ground it as you need. See, I have a bag that was ground fresh, but I had to have the whole thing ground because I don't have a grinder. And I don't make coffee often enough to need one.
I make coffee pretty much every day. And so... Oh my goodness.
I do believe Jum Jum is the one who drinks the most coffee out of all of us.
Probably, yeah. I have coffee on my desk right now.
I am planning to go make some.
I tried... Oh my goodness. I tried to have just a cup of normal drip coffee the other day.
When you say normal, you mean like Folgers or something like that?
Yeah. Folgers.
Why would you drink that? Folgers is the mud that used to be coffee in like the 50s.
Okay, listen, buddy. Folgers might not be too much to write home about, but that has been the coffee brand that my parents have been drinking since forever.
Yeah, and a long time ago it was decent, but it isn't anymore.
Let me finish. It's not... How do I explain this? It's like... There's chicken Alfredo, like the oven bake stuff. It's not good chicken Alfredo. But it's so heavily tied to such great memories in my childhood that tasting it just is incomparable. It's amazing because I have such fond memories of it.
Right.
So that's the way Folgers is to me.
Okay.
It's not fantastic, certainly, no, but it's pleasant memories in liquid form.
I was just clarifying because I've done research. I was trying to figure out why my grounds kept going bad so quickly. Apparently, you're supposed to put them in the freezer unless you're going to use them within like a week. I did not know that they needed to not sit out on the counter by themselves.
Yes. Also.
But in that, I was also looking for grounds that were good because I noticed it had been about I was drinking year old grounds because I didn't know they went bad. So
That
big
that would-
oof on that one.
That would be a reason.
But I noticed the new Folgers that I bought did not taste as good as the can I had had before. And there were people saying that even in the last couple of years, they've noticed that Folgers is kind of sheepened out on a lot of stuff that they used to be very adamant about making sure was good.
Yeah,
Which
it's
is
certainly
why
got quality.
I am afraid to say, comrade, I am about as far away from a bed as you can be and not be in the void beneath the planet.
That's fine. I was just testing.
How do you know that there's not a bed in the void beneath the planet?
Get super wrecked. This entrance that I just built down to, immediately minecart with a chest.
Nice.
This map loves me, and I love this map so far. Watch me die on the way back.
You die, but not only do you die in a creeper explosion, which causes lava to pour in on all your items.
No! There is a lot of lava
And then
because, as
you-
I said,
As you scream at the keyboard, a piece falls off, flying into your throat. You choke to death.
it better not. This keyboard better be handed down to my descendants. This is like a $150 keyboard.
Anyway,
Anyway, let's start
Back to my
flexing on
story.
our audience.
back to my
Say
story.
what?
Stop flexing on our audience. Back to my story.
It's not exactly a flex if I don't have the ability to replace it easily.
Back to my story about drip coffee. So I've been drinking this freshly ground French press dark roast coffee
Yes! The good
for
stuff.
for like a couple weeks now, and there was a situation in our house regarding the plumbing, and
Like a big oof situation, or
I mean, it was a pretty big oof to us because we were without water for a couple days.
wow.
But it was nothing
Yeah.
super serious. We just called the plumber out and they fixed the pipe and all that. But it was really annoying because we were basically just spraying water out onto the ground outside, and the nice water company was so very kind in letting us know that, hey, that's after the meter, so legally, that's you. And
Yeah.
so we got to go, okay, well, I guess that's us. And so we had to fix it. Which, that's, the way it be, but still annoying. And,
So we don't have enough iron to like spend it into the wind, but we do have 45 iron being born back up if I can ever find the way back up.
that's good.
Make it sound
I'm
like
going
I also
adventure.
don't have 45 iron in my chest.
You make it
Do
sound
you?
like I don't have like 20 blocks of iron in my chest.
Oof.
I didn't know y'all had found iron.
I have 39 pieces of iron, and I have full sets of iron tools at the moment.
Wow,
The thing
I am the poor one.
We just don't advertise our.
Well, I'm not advertising it to flex. I'm advertising it for the good of everyone to use.
Yes, but like.
In OurCraft.
Well, you know, I have a history of making the community vault to be used as a community vault, so
It's
get over.
It's need a penny, take a penny, but like with items in Minecraft. But
That just means as the banker, I'll occasionally come and steal everything you have.
True communism.
How it was always meant to function.
Yep. So I've been drinking freshly ground, basically freshly roasted, freshly ground French press coffee for a couple weeks, and then we were without water, and my only option was drip coffee that we had made with one of those. I'm not going to go into the super specifics. Anyway, we had a pot of drip coffee, and I was like, well, some coffee's better than no coffee. And I got it in my mug, and I took a sip, and I went, oh, I was wrong, and I immediately put a bunch of creamer in it, and basically just made milk.
I mean, I'm a latte person if I can get it myself, so I am not going to agree that it was bad.
I
You're to pee in my bucket.
I used to need to put milk in my or not milk, but creamer in my coffee to be able to drink it. Because I just didn't.
Thank you.
It wasn't that I didn't like the taste of coffee, it's just that it was very acidic, which is, you know, what happens when you make drip coffee. And I didn't like that. I didn't like all of the acid, so I had to put creamer in it.
Yeah, the acid's what gives coffee its aftertaste.
Mm-hmm. But I didn't want to. I didn't want to add any more variables than I already had into the French press, because I was trying to figure out like the recipe to use and the dose of coffee and all that, so that I could do it consistently. Because in my mind, having one really good cup of coffee every once in a while is not as good as, you know, spending some extra time and having a good cup of coffee every time.
That's why I buy flavored pumpkin spice coffee. Skeleton, if you kill me, I'm gonna be so upset. I have not died yet. Today is not a good day to die. I do not accept it.
So, like 5 or 6 tablespoons of ground coffee, which comes out to like 25 to 30 grams in the size French press that I have.
Dealer?
Huh?
What are you, a drug dealer? Measuring stuff in grams?
It's more accurate than volumetric, depending on ground size, if you go by mass. So
It still
for
just sounds wrong.
it sounds weird, I admit, but that's how much coffee I put in my size of French press, and I get good coffee every single time.
I'll admit
And so
to
I didn't want to
having-
throw.
I have made French press coffee so long now, I just measure it by eye.
I mean, doesn't everybody measure their grounds when they're making coffee by eye? Who actually measures it?
I used to.
No.
I mean, I put mine through the speed bun maker, so it is technically drip coffee, but I buy premium grounds, so it doesn't taste as bad. I'm just not paying for an espresso machine, and I don't have your luck. So,
Dude, just drop by Goodwill every once in a while. You can find some amazing stuff.
The only Goodwill-esque store that isn't a 30, 45-minute drive is a Salvation Army, and you will not find me in that denomination store.
Ah, that sucks.
Yeah.
Hey, I tell you what. We have a Goodwill like right next to our, not right next to, but real close to our house. Next time I'm in there, I will look for you an espresso maker. And if I can find a decent one that like has all its parts and seems to be functioning properly, I will send it to you.
I will definitely pay for that.
Yeah. Like I said, there were like 5 or 6 of them. This was just the most recent and most complete one that I found.
Is it because it's a college town and the college kids that are from more well-to-do families just leave them behind? Or destroy them while they're there?
I don't really know.
Because my understanding is that you can tell a lot about a town based on what's in its Goodwill.
Well, the Goodwill's not really in our town. It's in the next town over, which is only like a 20-minute drive, but it's not really in our town, technically.
I finally put a chest by the farm.
But yeah, I found a nice... One of the most interesting thing, not interesting, probably the most expensive thing that I ever found at that Goodwill was a brand new tag still on it Van Heusen suit. And it was like...
I'll be honest, even as a preacher, I don't really recognize suit names.
Van Heusen isn't... It's not a designer suit exactly, but it's a pretty well-known name.
Okay.
And...
Nice.
I buy a DXL store brand.
It was, I think, $10-15 maybe. Brand new tag still on it suit.
See, I got lucky that
I didn't buy it because it was like a size 45, and I'm not a size 45 by any stretch.
Yeah, no, I've met you in real life. No.
Well,
that's a no right there.
Our viewers haven't met me, but I'm more of a size 4.
What am I doing right now? If I had viewers at the moment, they'd be like, "What is this idiot doing? Just running around doing nothing."
I mean, I don't think our viewers watch us for the Minecraft content.
I hope not, because when I introduce it as Dream Thief attempts to play Minecraft, that is genuinely accurate.
We're doing our best here, guys, but like...
Oh! I've been trying to bring something up, or trying to remember to bring something up forever.
Oh. Okay.
I made a discovery regarding enchanting that will make it far more likely that we get the enchantments we want for the particular device we're enchanting.
What is that?
Don't use books. Put the device where like a diamond pickaxe, put it where the book would go. Put the lapis on the table. I did that first time out of the gate. Got a Fortune 3 enchantment, an Efficiency 4 enchantment, and an Unbreaking 3 enchantment all at once onto it just by doing that.
Your luck's just cracked, man. The reason that you don't necessarily want to do that is because some enchantments are mutually exclusive. Like, you can't have Fortune and Silk Touch on a pickaxe. So if you wanted a pickaxe to have Fortune, and you just stuck it in there, and randomly it chose a secondary enchantment and put Silk Touch on it, well, then you've got 2 options. You can either accept that pickaxe is not going to do the thing that you wanted it to, or you can disenchant it and lose all of your progress on all the other stuff. So it's...
But you're far more likely...
I understand what you mean. It's more likely to get an enchantment that's usable, but you also can't enchant items twice. Like, you can't stick an
You also don't have to click and take that. You can take the pickaxe back off the enchanting table instead of enchanting it.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
when you put it back on, it's still the same enchantments.
Yeah, that day. You can go back a different day.
Does it cycle every day?
I thought it was every
Yeah.
time you used it. Or got on
I'm
it.
fairly certain it's every time that you use it, but I will.
I've gone. Maybe it's because I've unloaded and reloaded the chunk that the table was in before. But I've had it change after a while.
And it was probably
I'm looking
from
it up. I'm gonna start learning time with Professor Jub Jub again.
Yeah. Second episode. Second learning time.
I don't have any more sticks. It doesn't matter that I found a coal seam. I'm out of torches.
This is a really annoying tree.
That's why I want to get some bone meal and build the automatic thing, because then we don't have to worry about cutting down the taller oaks that are frustrating. I don't actually know that that's the kind of tree you're facing, but that's what I find annoying.
It's one of those oaks where there's just 50 different branches.
Yeah. Some people would just leave that, but we are...
Perfectionists.
We're
No,
professionals.
we're not.
We're professionals. We're very profesh. We can't do that. And yes, I hate the fact that I just said profesh. You don't have to make me hate myself more than I already do.
You sure about that?
Ah,
You could try and make me hate myself more. I don't know why that would be your goal, but I suppose you could.
I'm
You know
just
me
in
better
here with
than
the
most
Savage
people.
Burns today, and I don't know why. This is-
Very savage burns out of nowhere for the most part. People are going to think that I came in here and set this map. I did not. This is not a dream speedrun fake map here, okay? I have the first diamond.
Oof.
Unless one of y'all's got it.
You've got the first diamond?
At the bottom of the shaft, I started to dig around where the two blocks came down to level 12. I dug out 4 blocks to the right, and then I turned around and I dug out 4 blocks behind me, and diamond right there. On that note, I deserve a coffee.
We're gonna take a break.
I'm on a headset, so even though no one can see me, I'm still audible. Speaking of which, if Audible ever finds this video and wants to sponsor me, I totally work with you. I
Speaking
love
of
your company.
sponsors.
I love your books. You're amazing.
Speaking of sponsors, we have a special sponsor today. It's the Raycon Shadow Legends. I don't know if anyone's heard of Raycon Shadow Legends.
Oh my
They're
goodness.
the
Hey
best
Google,
earbuds to
turn
play
on
RPG,
lights.
DVD.
And watch you get sued by the two companies you're merging together and the internet historian all at once.
I very much doubt the internet historian is going to care. In fact, you'd probably find that funny, at the very least. I hope. Just the term Raycon Shadow Legends makes me smile.
I love Shadow Man and Raycon Man. Greatest advertiser characters ever. You know what's funny? These
what about
guys,
the astronaut?
you get these guys that are paid tens of millions of dollars to make TV ads. And occasionally you get a gem like the time travel Doritos powered cardboard box thing from several Super Bowls ago.
Oh, yeah.
Or the Darth Vader kid starting the car. But
Oh, that was
so few gems exist.
Did you see
How is it that these guys on YouTube making maybe a few thousand a year, and certainly not more than a few thousand off of each ad, they're making 10 times better the ads? Why are they not being hired to do these ads?
I mean,
Well, because they're not a real celebrity.
A real celebrity.
did you see what JonTron did to Flex Tape?
Exactly. And that wasn't even a commercial originally. It kind of is now.
Like he just made a video about Flex Tape, and then everyone bought Flex Tape.
I still
He
have...
sold me on Flex Tape. I had an old wooden boat that it was just used to be the wood was young and the paint was good and it wouldn't waterlog, but now the wood's too old and I had to coat it with some kind of rubbery stuff. I'm like, Flex Seal. And I got clear Flex Seal and I coated the entire thing, and I'm like, wait a second. JonTron just made money for Flex Seal.
Dude, some people are thinking that you can eat the Flex Seal family of products. You can't. Do not consume Flex Seal or Flex Tape in any of its forms. Like, yeah, I think your product has reached peak meme-hood when people are trying to eat it.
I think he did that unironically before the whole Tide Pod thing started, too.
I don't know.
If it had started, it was in its infancy.
I'm fairly certain I remember hearing whispers of the Tide Pod thing, but I don't think anyone had actually attempted to eat them yet.
That's so stupid.
Well, people... So, it started as an internet joke, where it was like, these look like those fruit things.
Gushers. They're called gushers.
Yeah.
They do not look like fruit gushers. Anybody says that does not pass go, does not collect $200, and can go directly to Fun Hell. Fun Nether.
Yeah, but like nobody actually thought that they looked like that. They just kind of went, these are, squishy and they have colored liquid inside of them. Easy joke. And then apparently some people without brain cells went, you can eat these? And then they thought that they could and then bit down on them.
It became a whole challenge thing, too.
Yeah, I know.
Well, it became a challenge because the news companies reported on it. That's actually provable. Like, there were like 2 people or like 10 people who had ate them. And then the news companies got involved and reported on it. And then it became a whole thing.
And they were like, people are doing this in the... And I was about to say Flex Tape. In the Tide Pod Challenge. And everyone went, Tide Pod Challenge? And then a whole bunch of children. And then a whole bunch of children were like...
This is a good idea.
Yes.
They do look
good idea.
gushers.
And then they actually attempted to consume them and actually went to the actual hospital.
Yeah, that same effect with the news media kind of was at play with the whole iPhone, microwave your iPhone and recharge it stuff that the internet story uncovered.
Was that an actual thing that people tried to do?
Yes! It was a 4chan. 4chan had a lot of fun with Apple phone launches for a while.
You can
It was mostly boomers fell for that one.
Well,
and then they
boomers. Okay, boomers who never had a plate with a metal edge on it that they permanently scarred their mother's microwave with. I would never have been dumb enough because I had a black mark at the back of the microwave from where the plate trying to catch fire touched the wall, and I knew from then on that you cannot put metal anything in a microwave.
You say that like you're a boomer, but you're not. Also, I'm going to go AFK, so this is going to be my break. I got some stuff to do. Real quick. You guys talk about interesting stuff, I'll leave it.
Okay. That's right, you don't have a more mobile headset at the moment.
Viewers will just have to deal with the fact that I'm staring at my door.
Yeah, I would have left myself looking at interesting landscape, but phantoms.
Alright.
Oh, on the casual map, you definitely spawn more than one a night that you haven't slept, because I was spawning waves of them, and I would kill 7 or 8, and then another 8 or 9 would spawn.
Interesting. Oh, speaking of interesting landscapes in Minecraft, did you hear that they found the seed that the title screen is from?
Really?
Yes.
How do they know? Did they just spawn into a world and take the pictures? They didn't even move?
No, because that specific generation was very difficult to track down. I honestly couldn't tell you everything that went into it, but I do know that they have proven that it is the seed that it came from.
I feel like that's when somebody goes on the quest for the needle in the haystack and everyone tells them it's not a good idea, but they actually find it. But only after they've bloodied their hands with the ends of hay, thinking they were needles 1,000 different times.
Oh yeah, it was definitely a fool's errand, but they did it. And
Like, this person has the trophy on their wall, and they're probably never going to play Minecraft ever again.
well, that's the thing, is that a lot of it didn't even involve playing Minecraft. There was a lot of trigonometry and simulation, if you would believe it.
I never touched Trig, so...
Well, basically, the original title screen for Java, where it pans and you see that hill and the little waterfall and all that,
Mm-hmm.
you're never facing it exactly centered in a block. So there was a lot of weird math that had to go into figuring out, okay, where exactly you're facing, what time is it, where's the, what's behind this block, is this 1 block long or 2, that sort of things.
But there's like millions of seeds.
There's trillions of seeds. Probably more. And it's, yeah, they worked a long time using seed generation software and simulations in order to check huge amounts of blocks in every single seed that they could over a very long period of time, and they managed to do it.
Yeah, I don't think the folding teams were exactly providing extra compute power for that project.
The what?
So, folding teams. There's something called folding, wherein some people leave their computer idle all the time to mine Bitcoin or something. Well, people figured out they could take whole systems, and essentially you could build a supercomputer bigger than the current world's largest supercomputer simply by people leaving their computers on idle and connected to the internet, so that and logged into a specific program, so that that computer can be sent bits and pieces of a larger project, such as the trying to find the vaccine to COVID has been using folding. One of the reasons why it advanced as quickly as it did is because it had access to something larger than, I think, is either 10 or 16 of the world's. If you took the largest supercomputer and times it by 10, you would then achieve what the folding system is capable of doing right now. You don't get any money, but you essentially help create, you're a cog in the wheel of the largest supercomputer that's ever been.
Wait, they made their computers a hive mind?
Yes.
Holy crap,
Essentially.
that's cool.
And so anyone who volunteered their computer, there are several different groups or teams of folding Linus Tech Tips had a folding team. I think they still do, although it's run largely by fans rather than the actual crew at the channel. But all the teams will contact a laboratory or something and be like, hey, here's all this extra computing power.
That's amazing.
Yeah, some people might only have like a 1070 graphics card in their computer. Others are putting 2080 Ti's and 8 12-core processors in one rig.
If you have 10,000 computers.
Right. But even if you're only adding a little, it's made up for by the systems that add a lot more to get this wonderful cohesive whole. I suppose
if you have enough, you don't even need to make up for it with high-powered rigs. You just get a ton of lower-end ones.
Yeah.
And you'd still end up with a massive amount of computational ability.
So it's been a fascinating way for people to use their computers in such a way, and it doesn't have the same detrimental effect that the Bitcoin mining does, because Bitcoin mining is really hard on a graphics card. It really does wear it down.
What is Bitcoin mining?
So you're actually, I don't know why you're getting Bitcoin
supposed to work, but
I don't understand how it's done. But through some sort of process, you're essentially mining Bitcoin via graphics card processing. Maybe that you're selling your graphics card processing time and you're being paid Bitcoin in return, even as people voluntarily join folding groups. I don't know.
That seems logical.
That
because like
putting all both situations together
for nothing, it really concerns me.
Yeah.
Because
so
nothing is free. It doesn't matter what anyone says. Nothing is free.
So my guess is, without doing the research, that it's probably some paid version of folding where the people are not volunteering, they're being paid to keep their systems online. But something about it is a lot harder on graphics cards, where the way that the folding is set up, you can even use your computer at the same time, and it uses a lot of it, but not all of it. It doesn't run it full out all the time. Bitcoin mining runs your system full out 100% of the time. So when people put up a little 2080 Ti on the eBay and it's only $400 or $500, I don't care if they say it wasn't used for mining or not. They're lying. It was definitely used for Bitcoin mining if it's that cheap. It has maybe a year of life left on
it. People really do be like that, though.
But it has been quite encouraging and fascinating to see all of these people gather together to try and work towards a vaccine. And other medical advancements and technological advancements are being made through the same path.
I mean, crowdsourcing in science like this has always been really, really effective. Like, I remember one time there was a game it was a puzzle game, I think, called Folded.
Mm-hmm.
Where you had a series of it was a series of puzzles involving folding proteins and getting them to fit together. And some university, either as a joke or an experiment or whatever, put in some protein sequence that they couldn't figure out how it worked and how it fit together.
Yeah.
And they were just kind of like, let's just upload this onto the thing, and there's no way that anyone can crack it. And they immediately got responses of people beating it. And they were like, wait, what? What?
And it's stuff like that that encouraged people to set up folding on a larger scale.
Well, the thing is that like that wasn't even like linking their computers together or anything. That
Right,
was
but the idea for it came out of successes like that, where they're like, wait a second, we can utilize the common man.
Mhm.
That doesn't
And-
science.
do you I forget what it was, but I think it might have been Shia LaBeouf.
Oh boy, here's going to be something interesting.
Alright.
Well, like he put like I think it was an anti-Trump flag or something up somewhere.
Oh, the "He Will Not Divide Us" series.
Yeah, he put a flag up, and people were like, "I recognize that building. I know where that city is." And then they, rode out and took the flag down. And he was like, "Oh, well, that doesn't work." And he,
Well, no, it was better than that.
well, I'm getting to
You're-
that.
You're
He put it
combining
somewhere
two
else.
of the videos.
He put it somewhere else, and then they took it down again. And then he had enough of it, and he just put it. He set up a flagpole out in the middle of the desert, and he put the flag up there, and then just from there streamed the flag, just flying on the flagpole in the middle of the desert, and people used weather patterns and airplane traffic to find out where it was.
The best
No,
part is it took them less than a day to figure out where it was.
Well, that one was the one in Tennessee. And hi, I'm back.
I want to say it was Greensville or Greensboro, something like that.
I loved that because I'm just like,
Greensboro is
Wow.
in Kentucky. It's
Yeah, and
Greensville.
Paris is in France, but there's still a Paris, Texas. And the Tigris and Euphrates rivers disappeared in the flood, and yet we still have the names in use on the current rivers. I am back, by the way, streamers or viewers. There aren't any viewers, but the real trick is to find out how many diamonds are in this pocket. Looking like it's probably
is finding out where I am.
Oh, I'm glad I don't normally decide to mine around a pocket of diamonds. I usually just go ham.
Speaking of diamonds, there's the one case where the one of the HoloLive girls, I can't even remember which one it was, but like her viewers told her, "Hey, you should dig like 10 blocks to your right. There are diamonds there." And then there were.
All right, we got 5 diamonds. That, my viewers, is a start of something
though?
beautiful.
Is
The
it
beginning
really?
of a beautiful relationship.
Is it really though? You're just gonna use those diamonds.
I actually am always rather hesitant to spend my diamonds. I guess that would also preclude it from being a beginning if I never use them.
It's me whenever I'm given like a rare resource in a video game, where it's like, now remember, this is very valuable, difficult to come by, so use it only when you need to. Got it. Never use it. That's not what I said. I said use it when you need to. Hoard like a dragon. Heard it loud and clear.
I'll say this, I've been playing in Java, as you all know, and the ladder climbing is so much faster in Bedrock than it is in Java.
Is it?
I've almost given up.
6 times 3 is
Yes, comrade. It is.
Well, you
Oh,
never
I'm
know.
sorry, I'm working on-
Communists like to have their own troops,
I'm,
so you never
I
know what's
am
actually
working
true.
on a bookshelf library thing.
I mean, as long as we have enough to get us to the end stronghold, you can have as many books as you want from there. I'd wait until we got there, honestly. Just the amount that goes into harvesting that many cows we're better off just getting enough pearls to get us to the stronghold ring. You don't have to agree with me, but that's my view on that one.
Welcome back to Learning Time with Professor Dreams.
Yeah, for a brief while, I thought I might become a professor.
I've always kind of wanted to get a doctorate, but like...
Oh, I mean, I was going to be professor only in the fact that I was a teacher. Get an actual doctorate, that requires brain that I don't have.
Dear viewers, dear citizens, if you thought I didn't know what I was doing, I knew exactly what I was doing. Hopefully, that makes you all more irritated at what I just did.
I'm sorry, hopefully? Why are you hoping to irritate our dear citizens?
So that they can prove that they really did take it to heart when we said happiness is mandatory.
It is mandatory.
Yep.
Did you just mine down into the top of your farm? What did you do then?
Oh, okay. You want to know what I did? So I put a block here. Oh.
Where?
So I had a block.
Oh,
right?
At head level?
So I had a block. And then I just did this number. Oh, no, I didn't do it. Basically, about 3 different times I got all the way to almost finishing it. And then didn't do it.
What is this half slab space here for? Did you half slab the floor?
I half slabbed the ceiling.
Oh.
And I thought the gaps kind of looked too full.
I mean, yeah, I guess if one of them wasn't a bedroom, I mean, imagine, you know. See, I've seen, like, especially in the tiny home shows, they'll have the bedroom not be 100% blocked off from the rest of the house. How'd you get leather armor, you stupid drowned? I have a complete set of armor now, though. Anyway, there's not a complete cutoff, and they expect to have, like, family visit and stuff. I'm like, but what if you decide to get groovy and everyone can hear you in the entirety of the place without even a muffling at all?
Not even just hear you. If I've seen some of those like home designs where you can see the bed from everywhere else.
Yeah, it's kind of like, what were you thinking?
Like, whatever you do, don't turn to your left.
Fire your architect, because nobody wants to see that except the people who are already in there.
Yes. This has been Life Lessons with Dream Thief and Jump Show. And that will be cut so that sounds right.
Don't build your house in such a way that people can see your bedroom from the front door.
I mean, frankly, even if you're a single bachelor living alone, why would you want your neighbors to, like, spy you changing?
Well, I keep my doors closed and windows closed at all times.
I generally do. Although for a while in the autumn, I did leave my blinds, except in the bedroom. I left the rest of the house halfway up. Because it was nice weather, and I often had the windows open, and I'm too lazy to... Because they don't have the strings anymore. You have to grab the bottom of the blinds to pick them up and move them down. People are like, oh, children were gonna die if we had strings. I'm like, I'm sorry. My mother let me play with a, what do you call it? A wood burner on a wooden porch by myself without supervision, and I'm fine, and that house is still standing. Never have I ever heard of a child that died from the blinds.
My family, born and raised a bunch of rednecks.
On the playground is where they didn't spend most of their days.
No, we went vacationing in Colorado to meet an uncle, or an aunt and an uncle out there that have a nice little cabin up in the mountains, and we're sat around a campfire, end of the day, and here comes my uncle with this large white squeeze bottle thing, and I'm like, what's he about to do? And he's from like 8 feet away, squirts some of it into the fire, and it was lighter fluid.
Why would you not do that if you had it to hand? That's a great idea.
I mean, it was really enjoyable.
They used to take the lighter. They didn't take it away from me, but we did a lot of primitive camping when I was growing up. So
I've always wanted
no running water, nothing. Just we would have to pack in everything and pack everything out. But it was a lot of fun because we went to the same place every time, and then we would do day trips on a nearby river. And I was not permitted to use the lighter fluid unless it had rained, because they knew that I would just sit there pouring the bottle onto the fire.
All right. My viewers are probably impressed with me, since I managed to learn since last week how exactly the quick sort works on the computer. I don't know if they're impressed with me, but
What's a quick
like
sort?
how Gura's viewers were impressed with her when she figured out what 2x2 meant.
What's a quick sort?
It's where you
just click on the thing and it immediately moves over.
Yeah, pretty sure it's shift click on the computer.
Oh! Moving between your inventory and the chest,
Yeah.
the whole stack. Gotcha.
Why?
It's Y on the Xbox.
Yeah, it's.
I had an Xbox,
knew
but
how
I
to
sold
do
it when I was
on
getting out of debt.
controller. I know how to do it on controller, because that's what I always played on. In case you were thinking that I was a complete noob at the game, there, chat, I'm not fully a noob. I'm mostly a noob. I didn't
He's
know
not
about quick sorting.
He's just not.
Just
He's learning.
I'm more new to the computer controls than I am.
He's learning. Let him learn.
Let him learn. Let him learn.
This is the internet. People can't learn things. You either know something or you're never going to learn it. You're just stupid. That's how that's how internet works, right?
Something like that.
Yeah, just learn to code. You'll be all right.
Except, you're missing a vital part there, is that, not only can you not learn things, but, in the event that you know something, but what you know conflicts with the thoughts or opinions of anyone else, that's not allowed. And you suddenly don't know anything anymore. That's how that works.
Right. Important life lessons for our impressionable young viewers.
Okay. It's time.
I am starving.
Yeah, food has not exactly been a common item in this game.
I am growing food, and Green Thief is growing food.
I have decided to spend my diamonds. We need another portal. And I need obsidian. Because we need nether quartz to make observers.
Where should
So
we... Just a
do
second.
not I have to go mine this stuff. I'm not ready. Just you have time to figure it out.
Why are we worried about
I'm going
observers?
to build you a great place to put a
Redstone.
nether portal.
Devices.
We're going to build a grand location for our first nether portal. It's going to consist of...
How big are you planning? before I throttle you for planning it.
We're gonna build a small temple. We're gonna build a small stone brick temple for our nether portal.
How do you make brick? I've asked you this before, but you didn't actually answer me.
Stone cutters.
What are you making it out of? The granite?
No, stone. Alright, chat, that's our goal for today, is to get a great temple running for our nether portal.
Well, that was less than helpful.
And so to that end, we're going to go ahead and put this here.
Oh, I found an exposed diamond while I was lava hunting. Yes! Get wrecked, Minecraft. Get wrecked. This is my game now.
There's a spawner right there.
So far we've got 4. That's 5.
Spawners?
No, diamonds in this pocket. All right, it's just 5. But that makes up for the fact that I just had to make a pickaxe. So now I have to now I have to actually not die in fire while I'm attempting to get obsidian from the lava.
Terrible spawner chest.
What spawner do you have?
Just a zombie spawner.
We need a skeleton spawner.
Yeah, I found one earlier, but it was really inconvenient, really deep. I'll let you know when I find a better one.
This is going to be an extremely dangerous operation. So I'm assuming you only want the standard amount of obsidian, right?
Yes. Only 14 blocks.
10.
14 for the corners.
Why do you need the corners?
I actually prefer the way it looks when you don't put the top 2 corners on it. Looks like a tunnel.
See, Dream Thief knows what he's talking about.
No, that's a lie. That's a bold-faced lie.
I agree with Dream Thief. Is that better? Can I say that?
Sure. It's a rarity, but sure. It makes me feel better anyway. I'm not alone anymore. I have a friend.
You are not alone.
Did you say friend singular?
Yeah. Well, I guess friends. I have my puppy too. She's curled up in her little dog bed next to me.
Oh.
She's one of those dogs. She does not ever want to leave your side.
Those are the best.
Oh, yeah. I need her to be that way anyway. All right, we have 8 so far. I think I had enough lava here that I won't have to go hunting any further. I will get you your 14. I don't actually care that much. Not since this pocket is big enough anyway.
Actually, if you get if you can get,
he's gonna ask for more.
If instead of that, if you want to get 4 redstone blocks,
I don't have a silk touch.
No. You
Oh, you don't mean the ores?
I
No.
mean,
If you get the ores and then put it together in a block, like you can do with blocks of iron.
right.
Okay.
Do that.
Yeah.
What do we need it for?
It'll make it look cooler if you put it on the sides, because black and red go well together.
Wouldn't gold go better?
Well, sure, but that's expensive.
So is redstone.
No, redstone's a dime a dozen. There's plenty of redstone.
I found another exposed diamond. I love it. Ah, you just love to see it. Is this only going to be one? Ah, it's just one by itself.
But the bonny ship, the diamond goes a fishing for the whales, for it's cheered up the nights. Your heart's never
I don't have an explanation for why I've been so lucky this time. I just have been. So Matt can get wrecked.
Let me know when it's daytime, because I don't have a bed, and there's...
I am deep underground at the moment. Quite unable to help in any sense of the word. Regardless.
Comrade.
It
He's
is
dead.
nighttime. It is nighttime. Is everyone ready to go to bed?
No.
I'm adventuring and don't have a bed with me.
Well, that's what I thought. I wasn't gonna make a big deal of it.
Well, let me know when it's daytime, because I'm getting harassed by phantoms and I've dug myself into a little safety pit.
Ah. Safety torch, put it on your porch. Safety torch. Ah.
Safety torch.
My house is on fire.
Safety water. Put it in a
Tim, things are looking grim. I have come with a solution. Sorry. You missed my favorite part.
Minotaur, tiny Minotaur, mini Minotaur. How do you defeat a mini Minotaur? Mini Minotaurs hate tartar sauce. They're deathly allergic to tartar sauce. You'll be fine. Do you have any tartar, Tim? You'll need tartar to kill him. Things are looking grim for Tim.
What are you guys even singing?
Tobuscus.
Ah, okay.
That was back in the early days when YouTube was on its way to becoming a very powerful platform, but had not arrived there yet. Back when creators could still do more questionable things and, swear and stuff and not get in trouble.
Well, Tobuscus didn't swear.
No, he didn't. It was like he was trying to obey Kappa before Kappa was a thing. Which is fine. I'm not critical of that at all. That's fine. But he did do his very best to be very family friendly.
Well, it's... When you market your videos like that, it's a very good business strategy.
And it made it so that when the parents were like, what is this stupid song you're singing? And they showed them the video. The parents didn't kick their kids off of YouTube permanently because of it.
Yeah, they were like, this is really dumb, but harm.
What do you use brown mushrooms for, anyway?
You
Breeding
need them for
hoglins.
certain... Interesting. You need them for certain potions and for mushroom stew.
Well, I currently have 10 of them.
That's what Ninja did back when he first rose to popularity with Fortnite.
Mm-hmm.
Is he was one of the few adult streamers that were playing that game that did not swear at all. And his reasoning was...
You say that, you can find videos of him swearing. So.
It wasn't a commonplace thing.
Him early in his career, he did a lot. But then when he started to take off, he was like, oh, there's a lot of kids that really like this game, and
This is not CS:GO.
well,
This
it
is
wasn't.
better.
It wasn't even like
It's
kids
not
can't
better
hear
than
this.
CS:GO.
It wasn't like kids can't hear this. His thing was, if a parent finds their kid watching your stream, right, and you swear, that's it. Like, they're not gonna let that kid watch you anymore if they can help it. So
Right.
why slash your potential audience like that?
No.
Eventually he got so big and moved away from Fortnite, and now he doesn't care.
Now he's a piece of garbage.
He's not a piece of garbage, but he doesn't
check
give a-
mark.
he doesn't he swears now in his streams. Fairly common. And he streams Valorant, and I don't like Valorant because Valorant is trying to be CS:GO when CS:GO is already CS:GO.
And it's also trying to be Overwatch, and it's also Chinese or not Chinese, Russian spyware too. So
I don't know anything about Russian spyware, but it's trying to be a fusion between Overwatch and CS:GO when both of those games already did those games better.
well, and people play one or the other of those to play one of those games. They're not playing to get a combination of them.
Yeah. And Paladins
Wait,
is
so is it like ultra realistic like CS:GO, but it has like ultimates like Overwatch, or how does
it plays almost exactly like CS:GO, right?
Mhm.
Where you've got the rounds and the buying weapons mechanic each match and all of that, and the movement's very similar, but you also have hero abilities like you do in Overwatch. Like one character can cast an orb of darkness which veils an area that you can't see into or out of. One character casts tripwires, one character can dash through a wall. Just different stuff like that. It's trying to be Overwatch and CS:GO, and it's not as good as either of those at the things that it's trying to do.
Sun's coming up.
It's like trying to it's trying to beat a well-crafted spear with two broken swords is what it's doing.
Stupid
like,
creeper.
You're doing two things, but you're doing two things badly.
I almost had him down too.
I don't even remember where I heard that from. Oh, that was Kengan Omega. Trying to beat a perfectly honed spear with two rusted swords.
A good sword would win, but
Well, his point was that he's doing two things, and he hasn't perfected either of those things, where his opponent was doing one thing, but doing it perfectly.
Where are you at, comrade, by the way? Where are you setting up your temple?
there's been an update, and it's an amazing update. It's the best update. I like this update.
Where's your cords?
You're running away from me.
Okay, where are you at?
I'm right behind you.
Oh.
You are literally running away from me right there.
What's your update?
And what's updating?
Oh,
That's important to know as well.
so paths. You can make a dirt path without waiting
Yeah.
on grass to grow now.
What? I'm fairly certain you could always do that.
Nope. And you can't in Java, right? Still.
Really?
I know because I was trying like today or yesterday to replace a path that got messed up when I accidentally hit something wrong. I'll go get the tines here, or the flint steel. Unless you already have one.
God, the sky.
You know what I'm probably going to end up doing? Running a rail line between this front step to the nether gate. That's too far. It cost me 2 loaves of bread to run that far.
You guys still got your diamond pickaxe? I need you to take out these corners for me.
Okay. I do have it. I need just getting the flint and steel if I... Do I not have any flints? No. How do I not have any flint? I must have died while carrying... No, because I haven't died yet. Really weird. There's a flint right there. Oh, I don't think I've mined almost any gravel. I just stole it from you and used it to fill in a space. Because, you know, friends steal each other's gravel. I almost tried to right-click to open the door while carrying the flint and steel. I don't think it would have ended well. I come. You know, you could have just used cobblestone instead of throwing the stuff up there.
What do you mean throwing the stuff up there?
Oh, instead of putting the corners on it, you could have put a piece of cobblestone on one, and then put 2 obsidian off of it and broken the cobblestone.
Well, yeah, I could have done that, but I was in the process of making it and then made it too high. On accident.
I'm also... I don't know. Never mind.
Job.
Are you making 2 of these type of steps to go in the center?
What?
Okay.
Can I have the other 2 obsidian?
Yeah.
Cool.
Are you making a craft table with it?
I'm going to make a enchanting table with those.
I shall go into the nether. And wouldn't it be great if we spawned like right into a stronghold?
Oh, that'd be nice.
Oh, I thought we were completely underground for a second. We are at 107. But I'll have to dig around the edge of the portal here, because where the portal at the side that you face when you come through it faces right into a wall. And I thought I was trapped underground with nary a pickaxe worth its
Facing
weight.
right to an abyss. How big is this mesa biome?
Mesa biomes tend to be exceptionally large once you find them.
Okay, but like, I've crossed an ocean from the mesa and it's still going.
Okay. Still haven't found that village you was after, as you.
No. And knowing our history, Comrade is going to go looking in about 10 minutes and find it instantaneously because it's in the opposite direction I picked.
All right.
I'm gonna actually take a map and map it all out too. Go on a grand adventure.
Yeah, because you're rude.
Wow. This man shows you secret paths into Mordor, and you says sneak. Oh, very nice, Hobbit. Very nice, precious. Very nice. Okay.
Did you look at that, George? Or did you look at that, Dream Thief? Did you see it after I've mostly finished it?
No. I went back. As it sounds like a quest is needed to be had, and I shall have it.
The quest to find the village?
Yes. Jub may have started with this, but if he didn't, then I have big brain power.
Started with what?
Pillaring up all the way to build height. With your render distance as high as you can feasibly have it.
This is already as high as I can feasibly have it.
Yeah, he's on a console.
I am going to turn it up and hope that it doesn't crash my 8 gigabytes of RAM while I wait for my RMA to go through. I did finally get the return confirmation that they would do it, though, so I just have to wait for them to get them, test them, and then send me the new ones. I'm gonna die from up here, aren't I? Alright, we're above the clouds.
I love the stone cutting tool. The fact you can just do it all one for one. Ah.
Found a village.
How far away, though?
What are your chords?
2449 and 146.
Not far.
I still want to go to build height, just to go. I might actually be outside of Caleb's render distance at this point. I don't know what you... I mean, comrades. You can see me still... Ah! The build height is 256? I thought it was 300. Sad.
If that's build height, what's character height?
I don't know. I can still jump up one.
Right.
Alright,
What can
well...
you get to on a,
What if you had an elytra and used a rocket?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay, do you guys want the coordinates of this village?
Yes, please.
Alright. It is...
Just a second, just a second! Okay.
It is 150 69 666.
That is over 1,000 blocks away. In fact, that is nearly 2,300 blocks from us.
Maybe.
You said close.
It's... I said not far.
I feel deceived all the same. I ain't building a rail line that far. We'll have to do math and nether travel to it.
I mean, I can look for one closer, but...
There's not one within vision distance of build height.
What I'm hearing is I need to do some maths.
Or we need to pick up what we can carry and move.
I mean, I told you guys I didn't really vibe with that area to begin with.
I really vibe with this area. I don't know what you're thinking.
You're fine wherever there's a pond.
So,
You didn't even try to deny it. So.
I mean, the problem is we do have, if you take out a half hour for us getting our bearings initially, we have 5.5 hours into this map.
And?
That is hard to just pick up and leave.
Not really. You guys need to calm down with your sunk costs over there.
It is a fallacy.
What?
The sunk cost fallacy.
I just found the awesome ravine with the exposed mine shaft and...
Well, fine. Get all the nice resources from there, and then we pick up and we move.
I don't have shulker boxes!
Personally, my favorite feature is the mesa that's fairly close. Oh, I
believe the mesa followed him all the way.
Phantom.
I am actually in a position to sleep if you are, Jub.
What part of I don't have a bed
You're
with
in a
me
village.
Not yet.
You're in a
Not
village.
anymore. I left.
Why'd you leave?
Because you said this one wasn't good.
I did not.
Well, you're going on about vibing with that area and flipping
Yeah,
not
I'm
pick up
just,
and move.
I'm
And,
just gonna build another fast travel to it.
yeah, but that's gonna take a long time, and I'm about to die to this frickin' phantom.
I'll do it next stream.
What are you doing right now?
Dying to a
other
phantom.
things, and I don't feel like taking the time to do math.
Fair point. Ah, okay, there we go. We don't exactly have a phantom farm in place at the moment, eh?
We barely have a phantom farm in the For Fun map.
Oh no, that phantom farm is amazing. I don't know what you're talking about. That thing works to a T. It just
We
doesn't work.
had a time trying to get that thing to work.
It works now.
I mean, yes. But it was still very annoying to try and do.
We still haven't had a single comment, even if we've had viewers come in and out. Yeah, if there's anybody here, go ahead and make a comment. We'll shout you out.
I want you to type into Dream Thieves chat. F.
Why?
Well, because I was going to say something else. While it's not bad, it would get banned on Twitch.
What happened to the family-friendly nature here?
No, it's family friendly. It's just Twitch decided for no reason that there were like 2 new bad words.
Oh, stuff like the OK hand symbol that's not actually wrong. Just they decided it was.
Yeah,
'cause
basically,
we're-
the Twitch moderators were getting called these 2 particular things, and so they decided to ban it.
Oh, is it the word about being thirsty for gamer women?
Yes, that one.
You know what word it is. We know what word it is. But we haven't said it. And that makes it okay.
It should.
Oh, no.
I'm kind of hoping this minecart has bread in it. It does not. Wonderful. I have a name tag now, though. That's something, I suppose. This mine shaft better be more interesting than all that.
It's not.
Right now, it's looking like it had about 10 blocks deep, and that's it.
Ah, not
It's a fake.
quite so great anymore, huh? Maybe it's a sign we should up and move.
It is. It's a fake mine shaft. That's it? How you be doing me like that?
Like this.
Oh. Oh no, I found it. An extension. Okay, we're good. We're good. It took a while, but we're good. Yeah, that's right. It is a good place, Jub. I don't know why you keep questioning me.
I'm not questioning you. I'm just saying that you're wrong.
You could say that's what pushed him over the edge. Interesting set of words, Mr. Hornblow. Interesting choice of words.
Like Batman in The Dark Knight with the Joker. Let her go. Very poor choice of words.
Considering the guy was on trial for the death of his captain, who did go slightly insane, but it only manifested itself after he was pushed down a hatch. Like, I could say that's what pushed him over the edge. Interesting choice of words.
Is that another desert temple just right here?
And you said this wasn't a good part of the map.
I am even farther away than I'm before.
Oh, you're not coming back. You took the bed with you, right? I already mouthed no to my chat because I knew the answer.
Well, how could you possibly have known that?
We have played together for 30 to 50 hours at least on Minecraft now. This would not be the first time that you went off on a whim and didn't go prepared with a bed.
I came prepared, just not with the items that you deemed necessary.
Or that Mojang deemed necessary by requiring you to sleep at night.
I don't care what Mojang thinks.
He did sell the game to Microsoft, so he lost some influence there.
Believe
Mojang is a company, not the person who made it.
It was his gamer tag originally, I thought.
Mojang? Are you talking about Notch?
Oh, his name was Notch. I guess that's another notch in my set of knowledge that I had that I couldn't remember. It was going to be a lot funnier, but it just fell apart on the delivery.
Yes. The delivery is what killed it.
You could say I failed to deliver. I don't know why I don't get to make criticisms. I'm the one that's making the bad jokes to start with. This mine's not as impressive as some that I've been to. It's not terrible, but...
Well, in good news, our temple's almost done.
I have found another spawner. I have found a zombie spawner and I have no sword! I have no sword! Run away.
Now, boys and girls, we watch the top left portion of the screen to... Oh! That is not the death message that I thought I was gonna get.
Yeah, that was well timed, comrade.
I'm beating the drowned to death with my fists now. He's not putting up a fight despite having a trident. That man died without hitting me once.
Except for, the one that killed you.
Wow.
There's always one who
After
gets
that,
away.
he never touched me. He never touched me.
Well,
You can go watch. Actually, I was slightly impressed with what I did there.
I mean, comrade, generally, if you kill someone, you don't keep hitting them.
It depends on how angry you were and how passionate the moment was.
Oh, thank you for sharing your expert knowledge on the subject.
I just watch Hollywood films. They're right about everything anyway, so.
Yeah.
And they never miss the opportunity to tell you that they're right and you're stupid. I should probably turn my render distance back down before this RAM stick just explodes.
Before my computer just,
The rest of the computer's fine. It's this rather sus. The company is Oloy. Never heard of them before. Just bought this in a random PC part shop. Might be a tiny bit regretting relying on it. But I needed a temporary solution while the set that's supposed to be in the system is replaced.
I have yet to find an abandoned nether portal.
Oh, I know where it is already. I saw it, I just didn't go.
Yeah, but I haven't found one. Usually, our last map was basically dripping with them.
It's possible that they have reduced the spawn rate. I don't know.
I don't know.
Oh, what did I come up here? Oh, I wanted some food while I was up here.
I found another village.
Oh, I came up here for a sword.
Guys, I found another village.
Very good. Sword.
I think this one's closer.
Okay. Give me the coordinates then, if you would.
Alright. 120. 69. 1450.
It's closer in one direction, but further in the other. But the other further is only by 30, so. It is. Wait. I'm looking at this wrong. No, that's definitely further away completely. That's even that village is even further.
Ah. Good to know.
If you want the spawn or the current base coordinates, you can always ask for them. If
Yes,
you ever intend to come back.
No.
I mean, I figured you didn't like this place very much, and being only acquaintances, I mean.
No, I will come back, but
there's only so much tying you to this group, so you can.
There's deserts and desert temples over here.
Oh, all right. I'm gonna go pour me another cup of coffee.
Don't mind if I do.
Oh! I like having the computer chair lowered all the way down because I like to roll completely up under the desk. It is not conducive to getting up, though. It just popped both of my knees, and I thought I broke a shin for a second. Lucy, do you need to go out? Come here.
You're waiting in bed there, Chub?
Yep.
Both of us are currently sat in the bed.
Alright.
Oh, you talked about your plumbing going out near the holidays. I almost lost my heating unit.
Oh, yeah, you told us about that. Or you told me about that.
Yeah, if he hadn't come and doubled the defrost cycle, it would have exploded by now.
That's concerning.
And who knows, the furnace might have gone up with it and taken the entire house. Me and the dog. All gone.
It's a good thing that didn't happen.
You know? I didn't realize how bad it was till Dad came for Christmas. He's like, actually, son, it should not be doing that.
Like, at all.
And I was like, yeah, I was thinking about having somebody look at it. He's like, no. It should not, you cannot let it do that at all. It has to stop the moment you notice, because it'll blow up eventually.
There's a skeleton here wearing a full set of leather armor, including an enchanted helmet.
I got a full set with an enchanted helmet off of that drowned I killed inside your house.
It's a leather
I'm
helmet
getting
protection.
tons of wheat from this hay bales that I'm stealing from this village.
Oh, I also needed to get to the nether, not just for observers, but for daylight sensors.
Why do we need daylight sensors?
Redstone lamps. If you ever come back, I'm sure I'll have finished constructing a few.
I mean, it won't take me that long.
I just need glass at this point, I think. I still need glowstone. Oh, I had turned the burner off. No wonder my coffee's mostly chilled.
Chilled coffee.
It's that weird temperature just above room temperature.
Lukewarm?
Yeah, but who wants to blame Luke for everything?
I do.
He wrote a gospel.
He also saved the galaxy from the Empire with nothing but a laser sword.
Yeah, he was able to predict the prediction lines.
Oh, that hurt.
Every time, son. Every time.
Every time. Oh, that hurt.
It's okay. It felt good.
To you, maybe.
Oh, it felt good. Sometimes you just have this feeling. It's like, this is amazing. I want to keep having this feeling.
You know, the line in... I hate to be that guy, but the line in the books explained it so much better.
What?
The light novel.
I didn't read it.
Basically, he's like, I would explain this, but I don't have time to go into how I'm able to do this. But essentially, in Alfheim, the AI is so advanced and the targeting so specific that watching an enemy's eyes will actually tell you where the next thing is going to go. And this is based off of a similar system. So I'm already knowing where the bullet's going to come from before he shoots.
Which, if the kind of people that play Gungale aren't exactly, for the most part, playing Alfheim, and
Yeah, it
they
makes
played Gungale is also largely a PvP game. So I guess it does make sense that that thing had millions of dollars in it.
Yeah, it was explained, that scene was so very well explained, but then it proceeds to throw that right out the water, or right out the gate, right out the door, because it then goes, and it works great on people too, even when I can't see their eyes.
Yeah.
Like, but no, you had a perfectly reasonable explanation.
Yeah, you threw it away.
Albeit a really dumb one.
You done goofed.
But you had it. You had it in your hands.
So the torches around the wheat field are not to protect it from mobs, but to try and cause at least the edges to grow at night. It has started growing faster. Whether that's a placebo or not, I don't know.
It's like that unused plot line in Ruby where people are like, you had greatness in your hands and you just threw it away because you didn't know what you were holding.
Some people know what they're holding and still throw it away, like the writers of Harry Potter 7 who split it into 2 movies and still failed to cover like 90% of the good stuff properly. Like the final battle.
You know,
I have watched it once, and it's kind of like Last Jedi. I'll never watch it again. I can't do it.
I am just trying to find an exit out of this hole we're in the nether.
What have you been doing?
Listen, I just want to find some nether trees.
Why? You want some fancy wood?
No, because they have glowstone. Or, not glowstone. Little glow...
Uh-oh.
the glow shroom.
Yes.
That's right, you light your farm with the glow shrooms. Nothing wrong with it.
Well, yeah,
I'm just remembering.
They're the best light source for the job. Listen, I know glowstone glows great.
Yeah? You just not like the look of it?
No, it's hard to get.
Oh, I'm gonna write down the nether portal coordinates right now. That way, if you need them later, or if I need them later, since I'm also in the nether.
I'm hearing a lot of gas, so I should be close to breaking out.
Is there not a natural way out?
Nope.
Big oof. We're at level 107, too. It's not like we're deep underground.
Yeah, I figure that I may just drop off in the lava if they do find a way out. Good.
Yeah. Agreed.
It would be the opposite of good.
It would be quite unfortunate indeed.
I got a treasure map from a shipwreck.
I need to find a way to make that sound more sincere. Because it just didn't sound sincere at all.
All I've done... What in the world?
Are you free?
No. I'm just realizing I built like a 200 block long tunnel, and there's just nothing. There's like
Okay.
I'm not gonna die to a bunch of fire slimes.
Magma cubes.
Yes.
I'm out. But, not in a good way.
Did you build yourself a tunnel?
Yeah, I went up.
Oh, you went up?
And yes, it did not end in a nice place. It ended way, way up in the air. I have no idea how to get down without an elytra.
It's okay. It's just a rental.
Hey, I see you.
Are you
Does
down?
anyone want a heart of the ocean?
Comrade does.
I am going to.
Yeah, I don't know that there's a way down there.
I know a nice treasure chest that you can get one from.
But knowing that it opens in that direction, I know where we should go. We should come. We should come down here.
Well, I ran out of pickaxe.
Oh, I could have given you some. I'm carrying quite a few.
Hey, what's the chords of spawn?
Spawn chords. 2392, 20. You're a long way off, lad. A long way off.
Wait, so positive 2,392?
Yep.
Okay.
Also, if you find gentlemen have spare pickaxe and come across nether crystal in your path, or nether quartz, I'd be much appreciative of you bringing it to me.
How much do you need?
Every daylight sensor costs 3.
The answer to that question, comrade, is yes.
Fair enough.
People sometimes ask me, what's my favorite thing in the world? And I always tell them zeros. Nobody
Did you
ever...
say Sears?
Zeros.
Oh.
It's a Gray Still Plays joke.
Gray still plays. The epitome of Florida man.
And now that I just thought about it, not family friendly.
Most of the YouTubers we do bring up are just
All right. I've finished the tunnel out. We have a way out. It is also super high in the air for some reason. But we can build over from here to an actual usable... Okay, location. That was... Oh boy. One of those moments where you question your life as it flashes before your eyes. You're like, did I really do enough? I am currently missing 3 hunger with 1 loaf of bread. Because the rest of the bread is still in wheat form somewhere. Oh, do you have a bow, perchance, with a couple of arrows there, comrade?
I'm not even in the nether anymore.
Okay. There is a ghast that is literally stuck between the ceiling and this other spot. But I can't get over there. It keeps turning and alerting on me. I don't need this netherrack bridge to be destroyed right now. Probably should have made it out of cobblestone. Not that cobblestone is 100% impervious. The way it's stuck, though, if I can get over there, I can just hit it with a sword. So we're not in a great spot on the nether here, though. This is going to be a, how you say, toughie.
No one says that. Literally no one says that.
That's what all the kids say today, isn't it?
I really don't think any kids have ever said that in any day.
Can confirm they say that.
Comrade, not only
Comrade.
are you a computer, but you're a sociopathic computer. What do you know about what the kids say?
He knows all the things.
Really? If he knows all the things, then does he know why kids love the taste of Cinnamon Toast Crunch?
No one knows the answer to that.
Yes. Because
I do
cinnamon and sugar is always a popular combination on poor human
We-
taste buds.
We are in the worst spawn location possible. Remember how on the casual map we got the worst biome possible to start with and it went endlessly in every direction?
What biome?
The basalt biome with its floating ash that never ends.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah,
I'm
we are there once again. Except this time we're starting at height 91.
Oh joy, I love height 91.
I'm pretty sure if I dug up a little bit, I would get to the bedrock.
That's fantastic. We'll have tons of ancient debris for all the equipment we don't have.
Does it spawn at the upper areas?
It does, yes.
Huh.
I think this might be like the 4th village that I found.
I
Is
thought
it
ancient
closer
debris
or further
spawned
away?
Down at the bottom, like
Ah,
diamonds.
yes. No, I think this is the first one over again.
Oh.
No, it's the second one over.
I really hope a gas doesn't come out while I'm doing this, because that'll be the end of me.
Not the third one over again. Hi, Iron Golem. I'm just stealing your wheat. Please don't murder me.
Let's put it over with Crow. Oh, my stomach just went all the way down into my large intestine and all the way back up. I'm laying out a single block so I can get to some glowstone in the ceiling. And I had that moment where it hasn't quite loaded yet and it's just gray.
Mm-hmm.
But because of how high up we are, the floor down below is largely also light gray because you can't see it. I thought I was ending.
Hey, do you want some of those dead bush things to put around your house?
Do you have a silk touch right now?
I have 3 dead bushes.
How did you get them without a silk touch?
They spawn in the village chests.
Okay. That makes sense.
And I think you need shears, not silk touch, to get these.
Okay.
Do you want them? Because I can bring them.
I might use them later, yeah.
Also, I have diamonds, finally.
From the chests.
From the chests.
Well, that bit of glowstone dust is gone. That went all the way down to level 1. It is gone. Alright, the gas keeps getting closer. It's time to book it out of here before my greed for glowstone gets me murdered with nothing to show for it.
I am dead, deceased, passed away.
Well, here's the thing. I also still haven't died on this map yet.
Haven't you?
Nope.
Well, we need.
Oh, no, I did when we were first setting up. That's right.
You did.
Because the creeper blew me up while I was in bed.
Should I cut that into you saying that?
If you can find that clip, just
I mean, if you find that clip and put the two together, as long as you leave in my realization afterwards, I mean, that'd be that'd be just super. That'd be some pro editor move right there.
Just be like, I don't think I've died in this map yet, and then just a clock with the sound of it ticking a few seconds, and then just intersperse it with the clip of you getting blown up. You're like, no, wait, I have.
Go watch
So at the time,
Twitch stream to get it from your perspective. Your perspective.
yeah.
Go sift through the VOD. Like, it's in here somewhere. We only played Minecraft for 4 hours. We have to find it
No,
somewhere.
it was only 2.5 that time because we got started an hour and a half late because I was at Outback, and for some reason, the line and the wait was stupid.
My family and I went to Outback a little while ago.
I need to hurry up and get these lamps started so there's at least one for you to see what I'm doing.
It was tasty.
What'd you get?
Steak.
Oh, what else would you get at Outback?
I mean, most often I just go in and order a cheese fry to the degree that the people who work there, when they see me coming in, they generally know that it's cheese fry time.
This is the cheese fry guy. We don't know why he has decided to come to a steakhouse in search of fries with cheese on them. But that's what he does. Every Tuesday.
Tonight, I'm enjoying some popcorn with some milk.
Okay,
Which, if you've never had it, it's actually really good.
I'm gonna need you to.
Milk is the superior way to wash down your popcorn.
I'm gonna need you to throw that up into this bucket for me. That also contains other things.
gonna need you to never bring up combining milk with popcorn ever again. Thank you.
Yeah.
That's what we're gonna need you to do.
Really
And,
good. You're missing out.
comrade, what did we agree?
I didn't.
You didn't agree to anything.
I figured I'd trick him.
I mean, I didn't want to take his side on that one, but I had to point that out that, you know, you were failing to.
We hadn't agreed to anything, but like at the same time, he's wrong.
You ever had it?
He doesn't have to have had it.
Have you ever been shot?
I've been run over before. Although you weren't really asking me, you're kind of
I
asking
have
him.
never been shot.
Would you assume that it hurts?
Why would someone shoot a computer? And of course, I wouldn't assume it hurts. I have no nerves.
I'm gonna smack you. You know that?
Yeah, I could hear that smack coming through the air already. I'm like, I can see this conversation ending. Oh, bad. You're gonna choke that much, you might as well throw in a golem. And I have all my stuff. I just need to put this thing together properly.
I have an entire thing of gold armor, but I'm not sure why. It was in the water.
There's probably on something you killed an et and forgot that you cleaned the bones off.
That's probably what it was. Everyone knows that computers don't like eating bones.
Or eating. Or having bones.
Do they not? At least you're calling it milk.
Milk.
All right, my redstone contraptions are finished. And now that I have a proper street light system, I refuse to leave. You didn't really think you would convince me to leave, did you?
I had hope.
We've got farms, we got cattle, we've got all the things.
We've got a mesa biome.
What has the mesa biome done for us?
Nothing yet, but I'm going to build a giant tunnel to it, so I presume it will start giving things for us.
Why would you presume that? What has it done for us in the casual map?
Created quite the area now that I terraformed it fully to build farms.
That's not the mesa biome, that's the forest you cut down.
No, I built the tree farm on the ground where the grass is.
It's super
The,
rich in farm. It's super rich in forest.
Not all ores.
There's a sea turtle here.
Really? Oh, do tell. So,
No.
why wouldn't he tell?
Because it's a secret.
Where did he go?
He's over here. Look at him.
There are a lot of drowned down here. Ah, okay.
What are you doing? You're killing the turtle.
Winning. I got free seagrass. Hey! Don't! You piece of garbage!
You killed the turtle!
Yeah, and you just stole a bunch of my stuff.
I didn't steal any of your stuff.
Yeah, you did, because it fell down the side of the cliff. I had a ton of iron tools, full
Nope,
leather armor.
It's all right there. It's all right there. Here, come get it. I didn't mean to hit you until you died. I just... No, I didn't.
Yeah, my helmet apparently was permanently deleted, or you have it.
Oh, I do have your helmet. Wait a second. It's right here.
I have no idea where you are. Oh.
I really need to stop almost drowning in this ocean.
People who play on multiplayer servers that aren't servers of their friends are like, yeah, people kill me and steal my stuff all the time.
What's the big deal? Oh no.
So if you've picked up your bed and you're traveling with it there, Job, you'll be sent directly to spawn jail if you pass away while you're out there. Which, while being a morbid thought, is still quite fascinating.
Do you have any redstone?
Yeah.
I want to make a clock.
There's some gold and some redstone in the mass drop chest because we don't have a lot of chests right now. Beside the crafting table.
In your thing?
Yeah. So these are redstone lamps. The daytimer is on top. So right now, because it's raining, they're on whether it's set to in the morning or night. But in a normal day, they'll be off during the day and on during the night.
Speaking of night, are you guys in a position where you can sleep?
Yeah.
It's not night, is it?
It is now.
Oh.
It probably just became night, but yeah.
Yeah, because I don't really want to be traveling with phantoms.
What?
You don't want to be traveling with the phantoms?
I don't want to be traveling with the Fentons. Those ghost hunters.
Ah, nobody likes ghost hunters.
You know,
This coffee is officially ice cold.
that's a series that holds up surprisingly.
Denny Phantom?
Yeah.
I've noticed there's a propensity to correct statements, even when they're matters of opinion. Which I'm not upset about. I'm just pointing it out.
What are you pointing out exactly? I didn't quite understand what you said.
This man has a propensity for correcting things, even matters of opinion.
Which man?
You,
All I said is that that's a series that holds up surprisingly well.
right after I said nobody likes that series.
Oh, I didn't hear you say it.
That's not what I thought you said.
That's not what I thought you said either.
You said nobody likes ghost hunters.
Yeah.
Is that not the name of said series?
No.
You're thinking of a show called Ghost Hunters, which I'm assuming is some kind of pseudo-paranormal thing. We're talking about Danny Phantom, a Cartoon Network, no, a Nickelodeon thing.
Yeah.
A lot of cartoons from that era hold up surprisingly well.
You guys remember Static Shock?
Oh, I remember Static Shock.
I have a clock.
Those were good times.
I remember the crossover that they did with Batman, where the Joker was pretending to be hurt out of the side of the car. And he's like, "Help me!" And he grabs his hand with the shock and joy buzzer. He goes, "Hi, I got you!" And then he looks up and it's Static there. He's like, "Nice try. Let me try mine."
I didn't have the blessing to see that.
It's the only scene that I can remember from. But I like Static Shock.
I'm not familiar with Static Shock.
I don't remember how he gets his powers, but he has the power to manipulate electricity and magnetism.
The scene I remember the best is the scene where his sister figured out that it was him. Because he didn't like he didn't like her meatloaf. And so he got rid of it by heating the plate up like a microwave, which whether or not that would work in actual realism, it did get rid of the food. Either got rid of the food or he just burned it to a degree that even she would agree that it wasn't worth eating or something. And then he ran out of the door, partly because he didn't want to eat it and partly because he saw something on the news that needed to be taken care of. And she went to pick up the plate and it burned her hand. because it was so hot. And then she looked up at the TV. She's like, huh. Then she made the connection somehow.
The scene I remember best is the intro, where like he's running out the door and he magnetizes his keys to fly into his hand. That was cool.
Yeah, he's kind of like Flash when it comes to using his powers for
Everything.
making his life a little easier.
Well, if you had superpowers, wouldn't you?
I suppose Batman uses his brain to make billions.
I mean, frankly, his company was already making. Or
Yeah, but he's not. It's not like it's become soured of its profits during his tenure as owner and operator.
Did you? My favorite bit of lore is that technically speaking, the Daily Planet is owned by a corporation which falls under Wayne Media Enterprises.
I hope that's true.
No,
It is.
true. I knew that. I just
In a roundabout way,
rarely think
Batman pays Superman's salary.
And Superman works for Batman.
I know, it's such a beautiful piece of lore.
Like, you want to have a fight? Come here. I'll stop paying you.
I mean,
I win.
he has said something to that effect at one point, where I think it was Supergirl gets mad and destroys Batman's computer in the Batcave, and he's like, that was kind of important. And Superman goes, I'll pay for it. He goes, with a reporter's salary? Not likely.
Yes. Victory through the power of capitalism.
I have no idea.
We are joined by a random person on our podcast.
Who is it?
An obscure song reference appeared.
Uh-huh.
Hello. I did
Greetings.
not know you were recording a podcast. I hopped on because my game ended and I don't really feel like going to bed yet.
Well, it's supposed to be us
Minecraft,
playing
but
Minecraft
we're
Bedrock.
not good enough at Minecraft to be marketing this as Minecraft, so we're marketing it as us talking while playing Minecraft.
Yeah, we didn't want to lie to
Get-
people.
Yeah, we couldn't be like, hey guys, watch us play Minecraft and then show them this because, you know.
I mean, my Twitch stream is, I call it Dream Thief Attempts to play Minecraft, because it's
It's
not
fair.
well done.
I mean, admittedly, I have Minecraft, and I honestly have kind of wanted to join you and see what you guys do, because I'm also bad at Minecraft, so it's fine.
That's fine.
What did you build right
Unless
next to my
somebody
house?
else... What are you talking, my house?
What did you build right next to my house? What is this?
I didn't put anything. Oh, that is...
Hey, jump,
Comrade
back.
put that there.
Yeah. So that's the that's our temple or slash shrine to the Nether.
It's not anything like a shrine that I built on one of my other maps, but...
This doesn't look anything like a shrine. They're supposed to be brown and covered in like a tan symbol sort of thing, and have a little slate that you can put a nice little Nintendo Switch in. And it's supposed to be filled with puzzles.
If somebody could,
Or laser beam.
please send me the server IP.
Oh, I
We're
need to
playing on
friend...
Bedrock, and there's a traveling merchant here.
Well, hello, Jub.
Greetings, comrade.
Are you here for a particular reason?
I'm observing.
Okay then.
Observing what?
I got a glass of ice water, but the
Oh, yeah.
nearest glass that I had was a novelty Halloween glass that I got from the dollar store about 2 years ago.
Yeah.
It's purple and skull shaped.
So I take it you're headed for the end then?
No.
Funny joke.
Wouldn't that be the Wither?
Those skulls are black. Anyway, I got this and a pack of 4 identical purple skull shot glasses.
Right.
Thinking, there's something I can do with these probably eventually someday, but they look neat and they're $1, so I'm gonna get them.
I mean,
Because-
target practice.
I mean, that's my idea of splurging, is spending $2 on some novelty cups.
Right.
What I found is that these shot glasses are perfectly sized to fit 1 full set of my dice for Dungeons and Dragons.
Oh, very nice.
And the big cup is big enough to hold my entire dice collection should it need to. It's not currently doing that because I plan to grow my dice collection and they're now in a mason jar.
Ah, Mason. He was a good kid once.
What's this?
And then he
Shame
passed.
I got run over by that combine.
Then he passed the Dixon line, and we had to kill him for it.
Gosh dang it, Dream Thief.
Okay. Let's see.
Alright. I am just about finished. With,
Okay, I did something wrong.
I am just about finished with our recording session.
Alright.
It ends with me hopping on for 5
Oh.
seconds and then it's like, okay,
Do
bye-bye.
you guys have something you want me to show off on the end of the stream?
Only thing I've achieved is more stuff in...
That's correct.
Chest.
That's what I wanted.
I have like 30 blocks of iron. Correction, I have 29 blocks of iron. And 24 blocks of...
Okay.
And a Fortune 2 enchantment book.
Trying to find this game.
So I think I did a good today.
Did a good.
I did a good.
We're going to
Just
finish
singular
off
good.
my stream, or my,
You are wrapping up 30 minutes early.
yeah, but that's 30 more minutes I'd have to edit.
You're not wrong.
And I've only
You
got so
have-
much time tomorrow.
You have a point.
Hmm.
We're going to wrap up my,
Recording.
bit with,
Okay, then.
basically, I'm going to lay some track all the way down to level 12.
We get around our campfire.
I will go ahead and pop on just so that you guys can, so that if you guys have the time to like show me around.
Okay.
I see a brick building.
Yep.
I'm running towards it. And a lot of furnaces.
Did I do something wrong?
And there's another portal with redstone blocks.
Did
I
you
see.
want it to be doing this?
A person.
That
Yeah.
part, yes.
going to
But the
bed.
observer isn't going off when a block falls in front of it, which is confusing me.
Oh, hey!
Hello. I have joined just in time to
Oh, there we go.
Or
It does
everything's
work.
okay?
Yes. Okay, I need a sapling, and I can show you this thing. If I can just get a sapling
I
somewhere.
have a sapling in my chest here.
Do you guys have a bed somewhere so I can set my spawn?
Yeah, I have an extra bed in one of these chests.
Oh, I need more bone meal too. I'm gonna steal some bone meal here.
Speaking of needing things, how much gold do we have?
I see.
How much what?
Gold do we have? Like gold bars.
Like maybe
I have
7.
24 blocks of.
You guys have a lot of
24
stuff.
blocks of gold.
Yeah, I
Okay,
will
so
defend you, man. Don't take all of it.
what's
I'm
going to
going
happen? Did you want to come watch?
I'm just
contract?
taking your gold ingots.
If you want to close off something here, comrade, we got something over here ready to go. He's still running away. Bye, comrade. You're gonna miss the tree farm. Oh well.
I'll come
All
see
right,
it in a
so-
minute. I'll go see it in a minute.
Oh, we'll wait for him then.
And
So essentially, what it does is so you have to keep filling the dispenser with bone meal. Well, because bone meal grows trees, when the bottom section is on, it'll keep feeding bone meal. On.
Okay.
When it grows up to that height of the observer, it shoves it over one, and it moves the whole tree over. That block is up there to keep you from getting the giant oaks, which would mess the whole thing up.
I see.
Then you place another one of these down, but you have to make sure you clear under here up to that block again. And you can make up to 12 trees.
Because
Although I don't.
that's how far a block can be pushed with a piston.
Yes.
That was 16. Maybe it's been a while.
I forget who I got this from, but whoever you are, you have the credit. Whoever you are.
16 is the maximum length of a redstone signal being sent. 12 is the maximum number of blocks that get pushed by a piston.
Mm.
Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4. I can actually.
I don't really know why it is the way that it is,
6,
but it is.
7.
I don't know why it be like it is, but it do.
Gather my bearings.
Thank you
Okay.
so much.
I'm assuming you guys have gotten fairly far, but how far?
Not really.
No.
We haven't even got a solid connection to a village yet.
Oh, okay. So I was gonna say. So I was thinking like, if you guys got like potions or anything. But if you guys
No, not a chance.
Not
good. It means I have a purpose because that is something I particularly enjoy doing. Potion brewing.
We don't even have a brewing stand right now.
Yeah, we don't even have nether board or a blaze rod or
Well, the fun,
anything necessary to brew potions.
We're barely in the Iron Age at this point.
This is the most complicated redstone construction that we have on our server thus far.
well,
It's also the only redstone contraption.
No, the daytime sensors are technically redstone lamps.
Does that even really count, though?
Well, and you can switch it over to be on in the day instead of night.
I said I right-clicked once. Close. Okay, respawn point set.
Did you just steal my bed?
No, I just set a respawn point. I can always change it.
In
Alright.
his
Alright,
house?
so it turns
Oh.
out
I took
actually
it back.
need,
It's mine.
I need
my
one
respawn
more
point.
set of reels. Sorry.
I think we have shears somewhere.
Yeah, I was wondering about that. I don't know. I've been here for like 5 seconds.
Here we go, pair of shears. I'll hand them off to you. You make you a bed wherever you went.
I also found some other shears in the other chest.
Again, there was a spare bed in the chest.
Yeah, I didn't see it. But it's fine.
Okay, comrade is okay. He's not returned.
No. Sorry. I done messed up my counts once, and fixing that.
I'm gonna put these shoes here. Oh, they're in here already.
And got yet another trident before we close the stream. I'm the trident king.
There's nothing but a bed down here.
Don't mock my sense of interior design.
If you don't,
I mean, I'm living in the pre-vault in the vault, so I can't really judge.
It's going to be better later, but like right now, it is what it is, and I need you to not mock me for it. Okay? Okay.
It is what it is.
I don't think I was mocking you. I think it was more questioning your questionable methods. You just killed my potato patch.
I'm sorry. I was just trying to get out. So here's the potato bags. I just needed some food because I am poor and starving.
Yeah, having food right now has been as big of an issue as the lack of iron on our other game.
I see.
Which, if we're on playing, you're always welcome.
Again, there is like infinite food in this chest.
Okay. Oh, I see. Okay. Well, you have to keep in
Also,
mind.
here's some bread.
Why?
All right, we
I've thrown
have
some bread on the
completed
Oh,
a.
Take some.
hey, there's another drown.
we
Oh, that's not
completed
comrade.
Our mine shaft.
Yes, guys, that's not comrade.
He's been underwater so long, he might as well be a drown.
Oh, hey, look, illagers. I don't want to get the bad omen effect.
Do.
I'm going to go into your house, into this building that I will explore and find somewhere to put it back, and then promptly forget about it forever.
Now I need a village to go and haunt.
No.
All right.
Okay.
So we're gonna. Now that we've completed our mine shaft down from proto or the short cave.
You're the only one that finds that funny, comrade.
I don't know.
Does everyone have like individual houses or something?
Yep.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
sundial is my house.
We like each other, but not
Is
that
Tree
much.
Thief, and the short cave patent pending is trademark pending. It's comrades.
We do need to sleep before we try and show off the redstone, because I need it to be
The
daylight.
short cave is a registered trademark of Comrade and Comrade Computer Incorporated. Please do not steal.
It is not too far away. So
All right.
we don't-
We will go to
Buddy.
sleep one last time.
Well, and I would argue that this is not really my house, it's just my bed. This house.
Dragon, I have attached my bed to my hoard.
Our horde.
Our.
Our
That's
town.
funny.
I forgot. Communist dragon.
it's fine. I'll probably build a house. Oh, hey, there's a zombie. There's two zombies. I will. Well, why would I do that?
It's okay.
Not that oily.
It's a rental.
It's the shore now.
Dream Thief, just so you know, you could milk one of our cows and get rid
That's
of
what I'm
that
working
woman.
on. I need the water to leave my bucket.
Could have asked for my bucket.
Okay.
Now make the redstone go.
Redstone.
So-
Gopher, haha.
You put the sapling here, and make sure the dispenser has a good bit of bone meal in it. So it starts to feed the sapling. And you want to make sure you turn it off again as quickly as you can until you're ready to go for the next one. You clear all the way up to that block up there. And then you lay this down again. And you start her up again.
And it grows, and the pistons go, and you have a second tree.
Sometimes you have a piece of wood get stuck there, and you'll get hit by the pistons when you try to cut it out. But you have to cut it out. Cut it out, kids.
And voila, instant 4 blocks of tree, just moving on out.
And by instant, we don't mean instant because we're out of bone meal.
It's instant in the same way that, instant ramen is instant. You still gotta wait 3 minutes after you boil it.
Boil the water. Now wait. That wasn't
This
part
is
of the
still
deal.
faster than going after all the oak trees. That's also fun.
Instant ramen also says don't put it in the microwave. But we all know that's not. We all know that we're. Don't do that. It releases toxins into the ramen. Don't do that.
And again, this is not my original design. I got it from someone on YouTube, but I already forgot who.
Seriously, don't put the instant ramen bowls in the microwave.
Well, yeah, they are made of styrofoam.
They will melt partially, and they will release chemicals to your ramen. Don't do that.
Well, why would you eat it if the cup was half melted?
Well, generally, you won't notice that it won't be melted that much, so you
Right.
won't notice.
Well, with all that being said, we're done. We're gonna sign off now. We might continue to play a bit longer on Twitter. Not Twitter, Twitch.
On Twitch?
On
Twitter.
Twitch.
Yes, we will post frame by frame.
We got about 12 minutes left on here. Of course, by the time somebody's watching the video, it'll be us streaming.
Hey, some of this is
Next
just
week.
Twitch exclusive. I am.
Last
So-
12 minutes of every session is Twitch exclusive.
Hits midnight, stops gaming, and has an after party, which is also a podcast without games.
All right. Well, we're going to go ahead and sign off here. Remember that happiness is mandatory. Bye.